I woke up this way. Oh, hello. My name is Sophia-Helene, and this is Burning Questions. To all of my friends, family, and fans in the US, the Czech Republic, Ireland, the UK, the Netherlands, Canada, Germany, India, Denmark, and Thailand, I would like to wish you good morning. Dobré ráno. Dziękuję, goedemorgen, bonjour, guten morgen, suprabhat, gomorn, and sawati. Now you can't really tell, but I am currently in a house that is disproportionately nice to my income level, and before you ask, no, the owners don't know I'm here. So, let's say we get this show on the road before that big-ass dog I chloroformed on the way in wakes up. Roll that sweet-ass title card, Berg! I do it for you guys, you know? Ooh, my. Oh dear. I mean, have you seen the show? It's basically me. I'm not like other girls, I'm like other boys, flirting with other girls who universally don't find it cute. So like, yeah, man, I've retained some stuff. Like this thing. And the swearing. Look, old habits die hard. And swearing like a sailor, like a coastie, ladies, and fighting like a Marine are habits that die hardest. However, as far as bias is concerned, not really. Part of being a good intelligence specialist is understanding, identifying, and eliminating from your analyses internal and explicit bias. So, for me, eliminating bias was always as easy as really policing your behaviors really carefully and really paying attention to what you're doing and never, ever, ever letting your guard down mentally. She said more to herself than to anybody else. Okay, so I was thinking about doing this one on my monthly lightning round session because, you know, I could just describe skiing to you in a way that makes it look like an exclusively a rich asshole sport, which it is, but that lacks a certain nuance in answer, and nuance that you can't get on Quora is why, well, most of us are here. I assume some of you got sidetracked surfing porn. GooTube only has one U in it, and it's that way. But for those of us who are here on purpose, I have skied before in Dubai. Okay. Let me explain. Because about 50% of you know where Dubai is and you're very confused. About the other 48% of you probably don't know where Dubai is. Then there's the tiny minority of you who know exactly what I'm talking about. So Dubai is in the United Arab Emirates, which is a country on the Arabian Peninsula, which is not known for its snow-capped mountains. So it may occur to you, how'd you go skiing in the desert? And I wasn't sand skiing, I wasn't dune skiing. No, this was snow skiing. How did I do that? This thing. Or, more specifically, what's inside this thing? This is Ski Dubai. Ski Dubai is a legitimate, no shit ski slope stuck inside the middle of the burning Emirati desert. More specifically, it's 3 doors down from the Armani store across from the food court, wherein there's an excellent Turkish restaurant in the Mall Al Emirates in Dubai. So I went there probably in 2006 or 2007, so it's been a while, but I recall it being expensive, but it wasn't outrageously so. And it was before any of this, so it wasn't weird. It wasn't a thing. What was weird was that I chose that moment to be a lying cow and tell the attendant that yes, I had been skiing before and I knew exactly what I was doing. I did not need to spend any time on the bunny hill. I've been water skiing before, so surely it's the same thing, right? So I got all of my gear, and my Liberty buddy had skied before, so I followed his lead on putting everything on and getting out there. And if you've never been skiing before, you can't really just hike up the hill and then ski down it. You have to take the ski lift. Now, my rich friends tell me that the cost of the ski lift, is what really it makes skiing such an expensive venture. I wouldn't know because the cost of the ski lift was included in Ski Dubai, so it was free for me. But if you've never seen a ski lift operate, it doesn't really slow down to pick you up. You just kind of collides with you and you have to crumple into it. I'm going to skip over an embarrassing bunch of stuff and let you assume that I completely rocked this exercise and that I didn't have any incidents at all and I didn't nearly die just to have my corpse desecrated by a penguin at the bottom. Now, I tell you all that to tell you this. I'm on both sides of this. I'm dirt poor. I write for Vocal. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a freelance technical writer. But I have been skiing before. So why is skiing an upper-class sport? Well, when working class jerks like me go on vacation, we do relaxing things. I want to do yoga and get massages and frolic in shallow water with feral swimming pigs and nurse sharks or whatever else the Bahamas has done to make it a damn paradise. I might swim laps in a heated pool, but that's about as strenuous as I want my days to be. There are much less strenuous, stressful, and expensive ways to rapidly fall the down a mountain. Get out of here with that. So there are two main periods to my military service. There was Navy and there was Coast Guard. When I got out of the Navy and I decided I was going into the Coast Guard, I thought, oh, I'm a badass warrior, babe. I'm going to show those coasty turds what's up. I did not. It was like this for quite a long time. But the Navy and the Coast Guard are similar in a lot of respects, one of which is work-life balance. Specifically, there is none. When you're at sea, especially as a new crew member, you are expected to do your day job, you stand a watch, and if you're new, you have to do your initial qualifications packet, which is extensive. So sometimes the stars are aligned just so that you can pull an 18 to 20 hour day. And that's not sustainable in the long run, and it's unpleasant, but it only happens like once every 2 weeks or so. When you're engaged in critical operations, you can go a couple of days without significant amounts of sleep or rest. So I finished up one of these 18 to 20 hour days, and I was about to disrobe and climb into my rack, ladies, and I hear over the internal ship speakers, law enforcement condition Alpha. Damn it. This was a tuna boat that we were searching for drugs. And if you've never seen a tuna boat, it has to be able to store and process industrial quantities of these things. So it's a big boat. It took us about 3 days. There comes a point where having humans on zero rest operating heavy machinery becomes a hazard. So they did rotate us out in groups of 3 to take an hour off. They told us also that you have to stay in uniform and you can't go to your berthing. So it's a health and welfare violation to sleep in your rack in uniform. So when they tell you have to stay in uniform, it's basically saying don't go to sleep, or at best case scenario, go to sleep on the hard deck coated in non-skid, which is like sleeping on a terrain map made of razor blades. It wasn't a whole lot of sleep, but it was nice to have an hour where you could just relax your muscles and be quiet and just be without any demands on your physical or mental effort. So with these rest intervals and the proper application of coffee, you can go for about 5 days before you start hallucinating and being awake becomes a legitimate health concern. And again, we pulled, it was about a 3-day bust, so I think I totaled that day about 84 hours awake. Man, that sucked. So something that most of my core peeps should know about me is that I was raised extremely Christian. Something that perhaps my core peeps may not know is that I've been attending Shabbat services at the local synagogue with my roommate, and I kind of love it. Like, I think I might keep it. The evangelical laser focus on hell and going there and how to avoid it is one of those things that once you start thinking about it, it leads you to a place where you have questions. Well, it doesn't matter because, you need to just make sure you don't go to hell. And somehow people got it in their head, especially in the evangelical movement, that being gay is a hell-worthy offense. I think it's something in Corinthians. The core conceit of Christianity is that you believe in Jesus, you go to heaven. That's it. I know I did. I wanted it badly. Even looking in the mirror and seeing this ridiculous goddamn nonsense, it's something that I wanted with every fiber of my being. I don't know if you've looked around lately, but things suck for trans people right now. If you can live as stealth, and that's a reasonable thing, then I'm not going to say whether you should or should not. I do want you to give equal consideration to joining the fight, though, because the more people we have fighting, the sooner we win, the sooner we can all go home and try to do our stealth thing as best we can. Because like I said, we all want it. I don't know a single trans person who doesn't dream of being stealth, but there's a fight, and we need you. Let me show you something. This is Saito Musashibo Benkei. He is 6.5 feet tall. He's a monster of a man, and he comes from the Heian era of Japan and was a follower of the famous warrior Minamoto no Yoshitsune. Yoshitsune's brother Yoritomo turned against him and declared them both outlaws. So they spent the last few years of their life on the run. Yoritomo's forces finally caught up with them at Koromogawa, where there was a castle, and Yoshitsune retreated inside the castle to commit seppuku. And Benkei guarded the bridge over the Koromogawa to give his master time to take the easy way out. He died on his feet. Like in this picture, he's dead right now. He's super dead. He's been dead for a hot minute, and they're still shooting arrows at him. He killed 300 men that day, fully trained soldiers, and after they finally peppered him with enough arrows to kill him, he died on his feet, and no one would approach his corpse for a day and a night because they were terrified that he wasn't actually dead. So I tell you all that to tell you this. If you want to live as stealth, then I'll be your Benkei. I'll fight this fight for you, and I'll let you take the easy route. But I want you to consider fighting with me, because people remember Benkei. Yoshitsune was a rich kid who did it his way. Your choice. It's just my 2 cents. I don't like that. It's too earnest. I'm not a fan. You know what? I'll fix it in post. Anyway, thanks for joining me on one of my crazy things. And thank you especially to Scarlett De Leon and Jan Mayer for contributing to my Patreon. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. Home. I gotta get out of here. I upper decked the master bathroom.